Daily Drive-By. We here, and we got something to talk about. Victim mentality. Y'all got that person in your life that you know always is that like, why me? Why am I going through this? Oh, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, but you don't understand. Yeah, but, oh, the odds are against me. Oh, I'm beginning to believe and I'm beginning to think that anybody that's got that victim mentality, cut out of your life. It's very hard to persuade and influence them because they just want to keep hearing why something isn't going to work instead of why something is going to work. You guys, we all go through stuff in life. That is how we learn, develop, and grow. We have this concept in our head that, you know, at a certain point, something should come easy. At a certain point, life shouldn't be as hard or as challenging. At a certain point, things should start turning around. And things will start turning around, but we have to use what we've been through. We have to use what we've gone through in life in order to develop and grow as a human being. That is why people are at the heights. That is why people are at the top of where they are. And that is why people push through the things that they've been through, is because it motivates them and it drives them. You hear me talk all the time about how we need a purpose and a why. So how we need a purpose and a why. And if you don't know those, if you don't know what your true purpose and why are in life, you need to figure that out. And I'm not saying you can't go through life without it, but I'm letting you know that it will help hone in on the things that you want to achieve and accomplish in this world, in this one life that we have. What seems to be a very long life, but goes by extremely quick. I don't know about you guys, but I say all the time how it feels like life is moving in fast forward, and that fast forward button just keeps getting faster and faster the older that I get. And I always used to hate hearing adults say, oh, just wait till you're my age. You'll look back and be like, oh man, I missed my 20s, or man, wait till my age, you'll feel this way. And I'm always like, wait till your age. Like, what the hell do you mean? It goes back to a mindset, but like you'll realize at a certain point, like life starts moving, and it's the more responsibilities you get, the more things that you have on your plate, life starts going faster and faster. And so I say all this because we can't use our 20s and 30s to complain about what happened in our teens and 20s. So I said, we can't use what happened in our 20s and 30s to complain what happened in our teens and 20s. So what I mean by that is typically when we go through stuff, it's our teen years. We're learning, we're developing, we're trying new things, we're being influenced by other people. In our 20s, we're also doing that as well, but we're learning from our previous self what we don't want that at that time. But then we also make dumb mistakes. We also don't know the direction of life. And then we hit 30 and it's like, oh my gosh, I need everything together. I need my life. I'm supposed to be married. I'm supposed to have kids. That was a mentality decades ago when people only lived till 60 years old. You had to have it together by then. But those times are so vastly different from what they are now. People are living longer. People are, that's the only point that needs to be made. People are living longer. So 30 is not the same 30 as it was a couple decades ago, where they started making these stipulations and thoughts that, oh, you have to be married, you have to have kids, you got to settle down, all of this stuff. And so when we use our teens and our 20s to learn in our 30s, we have to use that as everything that's getting us to where we want to be, everything that's motivating us to reach a certain height, everything that's motivating us to keep pushing through life, because we go through stuff in that time period that haunts us for the rest of our life, that fucks us up. But there's two routes to take, only two routes. Are you going to use that time to go down one route and sit here and complain about it and not see much change in your life? Or are you going to take the route that you can use that and tell your story, to figure out your why, to find your purpose, to make more out of life, to use that as motivation to be successful, to use that as motivation to move out of your hometown, to use that as motivation to influence others so they don't have to go through it, to influence or use that to teach others so that way when they go through it, they know that, you know, somebody's been through this before and this is how they got through it. How can I implement that into my strategy of healing? There's therapists in the world because they've been through shit. There's teachers in the world because they've been through shit. There's rehab centers in the world because somebody has went through shit to start that business. Professional athletes, somebody is in that business to provide entertainment to our world so that way it's not so gloom and gloom. There's doctors out there that saw somebody in their family get extremely sick and they said, I want to make a difference. I want to help make a change. So I'm going to go and get my medical degree. There's people out there that are salesmen for products that they have a passion for, that their dad maybe had failed in a business, but they said, nope, I'm going to get this off the ground and I'm going to continue the family legacy. There's family businesses out there that are struggling right now, but the next generation is pushing to make those prosper and grow because they have purpose behind them. You don't go through a struggle coming out smelling like roses. That whole struggle you're in there, you're smelling like shit, you're questioning yourself, you're questioning the world, you're questioning God on why did this have to happen to me? And then guess what? Something else is thrown at you and something else is thrown at you. But it's up to you to determine how are you going to handle that? How are you going to ride those emotions? What are you going to take out of it? How are you going to use that to keep pushing in life? How are you going to take all these things that once stopped your world, that once stopped you dead in your tracks, that once stopped you and made you want to give up on everything? How are you going to take that thing and use it as that motivation, as that purpose, as that understanding like, man, this did happen to me, but look at all the good that came out of it? I'll tell you guys right now that the worst day was the best day of my life. The worst day of my life was when my father passed away. Everything stopped in my life, but I had to keep going because of the things people were telling me. Fred, you're the man of the house. Take care of your mom and your sister. Fred this, blah, blah, blah. You have big shoes to fill. That worst day ended up becoming my best day of my life. I can look back now and be like, you know what? I might not understand it fully. I might not know why that had to happen at that specific point in my life. But what I do know is that it helped me find my purpose and why. It helped me find that creating Desire to Inspire, creating The Inspire, the community that were bringing people in, that were growing to work on their physical and mental health, to get over the challenges, to get over the struggles that they were once in, that they once went through. Find that story and spread that story. Start within our community and then expand it. Get the courage and the confidence to talk about it because everybody's been through something. And so when I say that the worst day of my life was the day that my father passed away, and it was also the best day in my life, it's because it gave me that purpose and that why. The worst thing that happened to me became the best thing that happened to me because I see life in a different lens now. I see that we sweat the small stuff way too much. I see that we don't live like today's the last day of the rest of our life. I see that we put these stresses on things that don't fucking matter. If you look at anybody who's on their deathbed, if you look at anybody who's at the end of their life, they will tell you one thing that matters. Don't sweat the small stuff. Create the moments and memories while you're here. Don't make the same mistakes that I made by holding grudges. Don't make the same mistakes that I made by not going after my dreams. Don't make the same mistake getting held up on the small stuff. Get past it and move on. It doesn't matter. Because when we all look back at the end of the day, and we're sitting there, hopefully 80, 90 years old, still living a great life, but when we're sitting there and, you know, life's on the out, are you going to be able to look back and be like, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of the younger you. I'm proud of the guy who didn't stop. I'm proud of the girl who didn't stop. You kept pushing through the hard times. You can't have a victim mentality. I'm telling you right now, life is not going to stop until you get it together. Life is not going to stop until you figure it all out. Life is going to keep moving and life is going to keep throwing shit in your face if you don't change the way you think or act. People will only listen so long before they don't even care to hear what you're bitching about. And so when you talk to them, they get off the phone quicker than they ever have. When you see if they want to hang out, oh, they're always busy. It's because you're harping on the negative things. People don't want to be around somebody who's negative all the time. And being negative is only attracting that energy. It's only attracting that attention into your life. So nothing will ever change. You have to change your view. You have to change your mindset in order to change your life. Use those hard situations that you've been through, no matter how fucking hard they were, as motivation to find your purpose and why. When you find that, you will have a different drive in life to be able to want to achieve and conquer different things. Not everybody's going to want to start a business. Not everyone's going to want to be a millionaire. Not everyone's going to want to move out of their hometown. Not everybody's going to want to be known for something, and that's fine. But what does that happiness look like for you? What does that dream look like for you? Use those hard situations where you made a bad choice, you made a bad decision, you failed, you got made fun of, you tarnished a relationship. Whatever it is, use that as that motivation to find your purpose and why in life. Don't have a victim mentality. Don't sit here and think that people feel worse for you than you do about yourself. You are your hardest critic. You are your biggest critic. There are plenty of people that are out there for you. But the only way to make sure that they're still there for you is to make sure you keep moving forward. Like, hey man, I'm struggling right now, but I'm fucking working at it. I'm struggling right now, but I'm fucking going. I'm struggling right now, but I'm not giving up. I'm struggling right now, but I'm not sitting on the couch. I'm getting up every single day and I'm working on me to get better. And life keeps throwing shit in my face, but one day, that shit's all gonna be wiped away. And I can look back and be like, wow, look at the person I am. You have to take care of your body, and your body will take care of your mind. To take care of your body and your mind, your heart will be full. We gotta do hard shit in life in order to achieve stuff. It's about putting in the repetitions, having those habits day in and day out. On the mornings you don't want to wake up and go and work on yourself, work on yourself. That's how you know a change is coming. On those days that it's fucking hard to get out of bed, on those days it's hard to get off the couch, on those days that it's hard to go to work, on those days that it's hard to stick to your routine, get up and fucking do it. Do not create an excuse. Do not tell yourself that, oh, you've been working so hard. Get up and do it. Whenever something becomes hard again, it's because that next iteration of that change is coming. It's because that next iteration of that purpose and that why is coming to life. So when you're at rock bottom and you think it can't get any lower, it can. It can. But you don't want it to. That's why you can't have victim mentality. So I'm going to wrap it up here and say, if you don't know what that purpose and why is right now, it's fine. Look back at your life. See the things that bothered you. Was it stuff that your family put you through? Was it stuff that you put yourself through? Was it stuff that you couldn't really control, but for some reason it bothered you? Was it stuff that you got made fun of for when you were in elementary school and high school? Was it something that you did in college? Whatever that is, you know that it's bothering you deep down. How can you change that around? How can you use that as that motivation? When was the time that you failed? Failure's the best thing. You should be happy when you fail. Our society has given us this negative connotation about failure because of school. But failure means you're learning. Failure means that you know what not to do. And you try again and you fail again, but guess what? You learn what not to do. If Thomas Edison would have stopped with all of the inventions that he had, this world wouldn't be half of what it is today in terms of technology and, I mean, you name it. The guy influenced almost every industry. He has over 10,000 patents. If he would have stopped at try 1,000 or attempt 1,000, he would have never got to 1,001 and had the light bulb work. So it's up to you on who you're going to show up for. Are you going to show up for this you on this corner that's telling you to sit on the couch, lay in bed, that it is your fault, that you shouldn't have anything going right for you? You're going to listen to this guy on the right shoulder, this girl on the right shoulder. That you do deserve it, that you are better than it, that you can get through it. Find that drive, find that passion. When you use the stuff that you've been through as fuel to fuel a fire, instead of fuel to burn you down, you will see how much life changes. Use the hard times, use the failures to find your purpose and why. To not have a victim mentality. Take your best days and turn them into take your worst days. Take your worst days and turn them into your best days. And I promise you life will be so much better. So that's all I have. Peace, love, and happiness. Make the most of life. We only got one shot at this shit. And then who knows, we might be a tree or a dog after that. Look at that beautiful sunset. Start appreciating that shit too, man. Whew. God is good, baby. This world is good. Life is good. Find the good in it. Stop being a fucking victim. Love you. It's on.